I wanted to pull some cards today to see what sort of messages that we're getting. And I have been spending a lot of time at home lately. Unfortunately, my car is in the shop right now, or fortunately, it is in the car right now. Unfortunately, I got in a little bumper bender, self induced, totally an accident. But I've been spending a lot of extra time at home with my pup. And I have been really drawn to this particular deck, this Animal Apothecary deck. It is absolutely stunning. So I wanted to see what sort of messages that animal spirit wants to send us today. So I want to start doing these live in the group as well, where I can get the comments and everything connected so I can see when people would like their cards pulled as well. So I'm working on that. Thank you for the patience while I figure out the tech. So the first card that I pulled is a turtle, and it says small steps, big accomplishments. Let me see if I can get this camera mirrored so y'all can see everything better. Actually, I think it was mirrored before. Hold on. Here we go. So small steps, big accomplishments. And I have been really hard on myself lately because I tend to do step 15 before step 1. And I see that everyone else they're out there and they're putting their content out there and they seem to have unlimited energy. And I'm like, well, shit, I don't, and I often forget to remind myself that it is the small things that's really, really important and the small things that matter because the saying, we can't eat an elephant in one bite, it's one bite at a time. And I look at my colleagues, I'm like, oh my God, so and so has created a course or written a book, and I'm over here like struggling just to get my thoughts out on paper. So do make sure that you're giving yourself a little bit of a credit where credit is due, no matter how small the accomplishment is. Because I don't know about y'all, but some days I just want to give myself a pat on the back simply for getting out of bed. Life has been pretty rough lately. Okay, this one says perception, and it is an ostrich with its head in the sand. So I will read the little booklet on that one. I'm not quite as familiar with the ostrich spirit as I am with the turtle. Okay, actually, hold on. I need to find the right page for this. Give me a second. Okay, so it is an ostrich. Okay, so here's the meaning of that one particular card. Let me go ahead and hold it up for y'all. Okay. Ostrich speaks to us about perception. The image of burying one's head in the ground conjures the feeling of inability to face a wider perspective. To be fair, the ostrich buries her head in the ground, not to hide, but to rotate her eggs. Oh, that's interesting. I did not know that. When this card comes to you in a reading, however, it is the symbolism of burying one's head in the ground that we are meditating upon. Studies have been conducted to show that a hill will spatially be perceived as steeper when a person is feeling sad. Our emotion literally shapes our perception. We do not see life objectively. Instead, the way we see our physical reality is influenced by our internal emotional experience. When a situation reminds your subconscious of an uncomfortable memory, go to the next page. Your subconscious will start to shape what you see through the lens of the past experience. That is so true. I remember one time as my business was growing and I had to let go of an employee, I projected my lack of trust from that staff member onto a new staff member that didn't know what the hell went on. I was projecting my disdain and animosity towards something that somebody had did to wrong me and harm me onto not trusting someone else, and that's not fair. Same goes with dating. Just because most of us have had like at least a bad relationship, that doesn't mean the ones going forward will fall into those same patterns. So it's important to make sure that we can differentiate between those two as well. And I live in my body, I live in my emotions. I don't know if it's the Irish in me, short temper or what, but sometimes it's easier just to have your head in the sand and not be aware. And lately I've been finding myself getting more irritated, more angry. And I think it's because I've been tuning in way too much to headlines and political news lately. And that can be really toxic as well if we don't get our head out the sand or if we only see things from one perspective. Okay, so the rest of this message says, one way to begin to shift your perception is to own that you to own that your understanding is never fully accurate. Instead of drowning in uncomfortable feelings, step back and understand that your emotions do not dictate the ultimate truth. Realize the control you have over your thoughts about a situation. This control is strengthened the more you become cognitively aware of your perception by questioning it. Start to notice the autopilot chatter in your head. Listen to how it belittles you and the other people around you. This not only snaps you out of the autopilot zombie mind, but also starts to reprogram your brain to put you in charge of your perception. Ostriches is hard to say. The ostrich medicine asks you to consistently practice this awareness, and you will be transitioning from being a victim of your thoughts to becoming a master of your perception. That is so true. I also have, when it comes to communicating, I do not like typing. I do not like being behind a computer screen clacking away. I never learned how to type in school. I have horrible grammar. I'm always making grammatical mistakes. I have to go back. I don't like reading walls of text with no breaks. My neurodivergent brain cannot handle it. I need to be on video. This is so much more efficient for me. And I've had to realize that within myself as well. Okay. So the last card is, this one's good. No expectations. How many times do we end up having these preconceived notions in our head about how things are supposed to be and how things are supposed to go and how people are supposed to treat us? And we end up, getting attached to an outcome that only exists in our head and ignoring the reality that's right in front of us. So that is a very important message to listen to as well. I'm going to see if I can find that in the card, in the book, I mean. I'm pretty sure I'm dyslexic too, so give me a sec. It does take me a little bit of time to find what I'm looking for. Okay, that is the Black Panther spirit. And let's see what that has for us. Black Panther represents walking into the dark and exploring the feminine power of allowing development to come from the unknown. Walking into the unknown with no extra expectations is a key that will open the door to your success. The no expectations medicine of this card strongly advises you to not limit yourself with the ideas about how anything will unfold. Life is planning something more delicious than you can currently understand. Something profound is on the horizon for you. Trust life without needing to be the dictator of how and when your manifestation will blossom into fruition. Intense expectations will only inhibit the ability of what is more extraordinary to develop. Take the risk for what you desire without the desperate need to control how it will unfold. A situation you perceive as failure today may be what leads you to the unfathomable success in 3 years. That's so true. You know, whenever I was in massage school, Thai massage worked my fucking nerves, y'all. It worked my nerves. I could not memorize the sequence, the routine. And I also have EDS, and I didn't realize it at the time that I was I knew I was hypermobile and bendy, but it made learning those types of therapies really difficult for me, the barefoot and the mat-based therapies. And I almost dropped out of school because I was so paranoid about not being able to pass and just not being able to fully comprehend it. It was the biggest fucking thorn in my side. And now I do a lot of that same type of work. So it ended up being a secret weapon in the future, something that really challenged me back in the day. I'm now way more efficient at, and I absolutely adore doing. Same thing kind of like in high school. I didn't like history, and now I'm all about history, and I'm always learning about the nuances that were never taught in the textbooks. It's just I learn a little bit better through audio and through video than through reading. I do read a lot, but I audio read. I like to audiobook. Okay. Our misguided steps and our mistakes are our greatest teachers. Taking risk allows the divine opportunities to present themselves to you. Take note if you are met with continuous resistance and rigid expectations. This is a universal sign that another direction is more beneficial, so take a step back and allow the path of least resistance to be revealed. This is not to say you should give up something immediately, but it does warn that you may be unaligned with the flow. It may also be a signal that you just need to wait a bit longer. Black Panther is the queen of facing fears and taking risk to achieve the heart's desires. If you're questioning whether to go forward with an idea that feels totally uncertain, Black Panther's medicine asks you to go for it. Do not seek immediate gratification. Remember, the result may take time to unravel, but taking the risk to do what is best for you will always yield positive results. I struggle a lot with this, especially when it comes to the Facebook group. I know that I need to allocate my time out a little bit better. I know that I need to reorganize things and reset the stage so people know how to conduct themselves and what the community values are. And I have all these type A people always in my inbox, always hitting me up saying, oh my God, you should do a membership. No, no. I'm an Aquarius. I am a projector in human design. I do not work the same way most people do. I'm not type A. And the first thing that people will take out of their budget is a membership. I'm going to do a completely separate video on why I don't want to do memberships. But the point being is everyone has their opinion. Everyone is telling me how I should be running things, how I should be doing things, how I should be marketing, how I should be monetizing it. And what everyone else wants or how they think that I should do it based on other people doing it, that's not how I roll. I consider myself a trailblazer. I'm not going to be following the same path as everyone else and being carbon copy. That does not work for me whatsoever. What does work for me is being innovative, is being regenerative, is being helpful to everyone else. I don't want the abundance that Badass Body Worker has to go to just me. I don't think that's fair. That is not what I'm about. I'm all about community. I'm all about coming together and helping each other out. I'm all about sharing resources. So I'm working on something. Stay tuned. I'm really excited for it. Okay, so to close out this video, I'll pull one more card. I just did a shuffle and oh my God, it's the same turtle again. So instead of pulling another card, I'm just gonna take extra advice. This is a really good message for all of us, just to slow down a little bit. So small steps, big accomplishments. What have you been working towards lately? Tell me in the comments. I want to know what you've been working on. I want to know the small steps. Let's celebrate along the way because we don't have to wait until everything is absolutely perfect to put it out there. 80% out into the world is better than 100% stuck in your head. So if you feel inclined to share what you're working on, please do so. You can always private message me too if you'd rather keep it secret and you still want to share it with somebody, but take those steps. And just remember that, for example, when I post a video to YouTube or something, I worked hours and hours and hours editing that video or interviewing the person. So everyone just sees the results. They just see the finished video. They don't see the behind the scenes. And remember, our clients, our friends, our family, a lot of them are not seeing the behind the scenes of what we're going through. They see the final result. So do celebrate yourself in the small steps. I will be back in a couple days with another reading. And until then,